Okay, guys, I believe that we are live to you guys now. With us today, we have a very special guest. This is Colton, and he is our teen volunteer for the day, and so he has just a minute or two. But Miss Annette is going to introduce our nursery rhyme for the day and tell us where the book is from.
Yes, there was an old woman who lived in a shoe, and it comes from the Mother Goose Treasury. It's published by PI Kids of Phoenix International Publications.
Go ahead.
There was an old woman. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread. She kissed them all sweetly and sent them to bed.
And he's going to share the picture. There we go. Hold it up like that. Excellent.
There you go.
All right. Well, I think Colton has to get out of here for today, but he really wanted to volunteer to read the story with you guys. So everyone say bye, Colton.
Bye, Colton.
Bye.
We'll see you tomorrow.
See you next time.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, usually we do the announcements at the end, but Colton comes to our teen program every day. And he comes, and so we do have a teen program every day from 3 to 5. So he's one of our sweet little volunteers.
Yes. And he helps us a lot. He helps us a lot with cleaning up afterwards and everything. So we're really proud of him, and he wanted to be with us.
Bye.
So,
Say bye. All right. Well, we hope you
Okay.
guys enjoyed our little bit different intro today. But moving forward, I think Miss Annette has some interesting facts about the little old lady who lived in a shoe.
Okay. A lot of the nursery rhymes, when they were first invented or people thought of them or whatever, they were considered allegories. And an allegory is a story within a story. So it was telling you some fun rhyming information, but inside of it there was a story. And it has a surface story. And in this instance, the rhyme is called the surface story, and the hidden story is the message behind it. And in this, the old woman who lived in a shoe, it is a lesson of survival and mother's love. But this rhyme was first published in 1794, which is 227 years ago. And when it was first written, the old lady represented the English government. The shoe represented England, the country, and the children represented the colonies that England had around the world and how they were being treated. So we are going into our book, and there are a lot of versions of the old woman who lived in a shoe, and this is just one of the more amusing ones that are out there.
If the Shoe Fits, written by Allison Jackson, illustrated by Carla Firehammer, and it is published by Henry Holt and Company from New York. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread. She took them to live in a new home instead. A shoe's probably not a great place for a whole bunch of kids. She left the old shoe to rest inside a hat, which she shortly discovered they shared with the cat. The cat played a fiddle from morning to night and danced with the spoon till they all fled in fright. Do you recognize any of these nursery rhymes that are making an appearance here? The woman then moved to a warm woolen coat, but all of that lint surely tickled her throat. When little Jack Horner stopped for some pie, she decided to give a New Haven a try. I don't know if you guys know a fairy tale about someone sticking in their thumb and pulling out a plum. I'd like to see. She huddled her children inside a green sock, which someone had thoughtfully hung from a clock. But Hickory Dickory Mouse scurried through, and she fled with her broth and her family too. That's a pretty big mouse for them. The clock just struck 1 as they jumped in a tub, but 3 men were sitting there, rub-a-dub-dub, a butcher, a baker, a candleman, too, so they hid in a wall. What else could they do? Oh, no. The wall soon attracted the king's horses and men, for it seemed that an egg had exploded just then. So she called for her children and gathered them up, then fearfully led them to a china teacup. I think we know this fairy tale also. When little Miss Muffet tried taking a sip, the old woman grew peevish and tickled her lip. The girl dropped the cup and ran for the door, while the mother transported her children once more. Do you see a spider in this one? Okay. The family then settled inside a torn glove. Still, children did nothing but push, yell, and shove. The 24 blackbirds arrived seeking shelter. She instructed her children to run helter-skelter. They discovered a bowl that was empty at least, but then King Cold grabbed it, preparing to feast. The family escaped from that terrible house and sought farther refuge, invading a blouse. The blouse was then seized by the good Queen of Hearts, who slipped it on quickly and start making tarts. So the family slid down the seam of her sleeve and into a jar. But would you believe? They need some help. The glass jar belonged to Old Mother Hubbard, who immediately snatched it to put into her cupboard. But the woman and children did manage to rock it. The jar overturned, and they fell in a pocket. The pocket was part of a red satin vest, which the Grand Duke of York wore while puffing his chest. He puffed it so full they were squeezed from his suit and landed one by one in his black leather boot. Now, the boot was too small for a family this size, but the woman had grown much more patient and wise. If the shoe fits, then wear it, she said to her clan, and she led them right back to where the story began. She was still an old woman who lived in a shoe, and she still had their children, but knew what to do. She gave them some broth and kissed all their faces, then tucked them in bed and tied up the laces.
Okay, so for a companion book, here's another version of the old woman who lived in a shoe. This is There Was an Old Woman Who Lived in a Glove, and it is a picture book by Bernard Lodge. So we also have this one at the library if you would like to pick it up. And it's also another funny version of what can happen when people are living in things other than houses. Okay, so our closing announcements for this evening are that we're reminding you of story time. It is at 10:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Our teen room is open from 3 to 5 when there is school, so we enjoy our teens immensely when they come in to visit with us. It's a place for them just to chill out, have a little snack. Today they were in a painting mood, so we really enjoyed watching them do that. Then on Tuesdays at 5:30 we have our Family Fun Fest. We are finished with our nursery rhymes for the season, and we are going into the fall season. And one of the things that you all need to do is to pick up our new calendar or see it on Facebook, and because we're going to have a pumpkin decorating room for you all to enjoy in the last week of October. So we're looking forward to that, and we're really getting ready for that. So, Ms. Toby, do you have any other announcements?
Nothing at the moment. I will say at our, like I said, we did have one of our teen volunteers today. So for those of you who might have older siblings, just make sure that you don't forget about our middle school room after school. It's a bustling place, but it is the exact kind of controlled chaos that we love here at the library. Other than that, let's get going into our closing song and our library cheer. You ready?
All right.
All right. The more we read together, the more we read together, the happier we'll be.
For your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. The
more we read together, the happier we'll be. Yay. All right, guys, are you ready for our library cheer?
All right.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Library! Yay!
Thanks for joining us. See you next week.
See you next time.